We continue now at the top of Daf Samech Amud Aleph Meseches Bava Basra. This is Bava Basra Daf 68a. The Gemara is in the middle of bringing a brisa which discusses when a person sells a bathhouse, what is and what is not included in the sale. And the brisa says that the pools of water that supply the water for the bathhouse, those are not included in the sales. And it doesn't matter if it's Biyamos HaCham, it doesn't matter if it's the summer season, or Biyamos HaGeshamim, and it doesn't matter if it's the rainy season. Again, they are not included in the sale. And the Rashbam explains Bein Biyamos HaCham, whether it's the summer season, Shein Muatin, Besal Kadaitach Levatlu Gabi HaMerchatz. The point is then that the water is very little at that point in time, so you might have thought that it gets nullified to within the sale of the bathhouse, and it's included in the sale. And we're saying it does not make a difference in both situations; those are not included in the sale. And finally, the brisa says Velo Beis Kinos HaEtzim. Also not included in the sale is the area where they gather, where they store the wood. And the brisa continues, Now, if the person says, I'm selling you the bathhouse and everything that accompanies it, that's utilized with it, that I'm selling to you as well, so then kulan mechurin, so then all of these items are sold along with the bathhouse. And the Gemara continues, There was a person who said to his friend, the Beis Habad, which is the olive press and everything that accompanies it, I'm selling to you. There were certain stores on the outside that they spread out the sesame over there by those stores, and the sesame was also going to be pressed for its oil. He came before Rav Yosef. He wanted to know, the buyer wanted to say that should be included, those stores should be included in the sale. Amar Le said to him, Tanine said, we learned in the brisa that we just cited previously, if he says, I'm selling the Beis HaMerchatz v'chol tashmishav, the same language that's used over here, Beis Habad v'chol tashmishav, hare kulan mechurin, so all of the items are included in the sale. And in this case as well, these stores should be included in the sale. Amar le Abaye, so Abaye said back to him, Vatani Rabbi Chia, but didn't Rabbi Chia teach, ein kulan mechurin, that they're not all sold together, and therefore it should not be included in the sale. And so the Gemara says, Elo Amar Ravashi, rather Ravashi says, Chazina, we have to see. I Amar le Beis Habad v'chol tashmishav v'ilein mitzrino, if he says to him, I'm selling you the Beis Habad and everything, all the things that are utilized with it, and these are the boundaries, and included in those boundaries are these stores, so then he acquires the stores along with the Beis Habad, v'ilo, but if he doesn't say it in that fashion, so lo kani, so then he will not acquire the stores together with the Beis Habad. And the Gemara continues with the Mishnah, Hamocher Esoir, if somebody sells a city, Machar Botim, Boros, Shichin, Umaoros, Merchatzos, Veshovchos, Beis Habadin, Beis Hashlachin. Included in the sale are the Botim, which are the houses, the Boros, Shichin, Umaoros are the pits, the ditches, and the caves, the Merchatzos are the bathhouses, those are included, the Shovchos are the dovecotes, which are included, Beis Habadin is the olive presses, Beis Hashlachin will be explained in the Gemara. Avalo es metaltlin, but the metaltlin and the movable objects are not included within the sale. Uvizman if he says to him, that I'm selling you the city and everything inside of it, even if inside of the city is animals and slaves, they're all sold together with the city. Rav Shimon ben Gamliel says, if somebody sells a city, along with that he has sold the santer, which will be explained in the Gemara. And the Gemara says, Amarle Ravacha Breder Ravavi Ravashi, Ravacha the son of Ravavia said to Ravashi, Shamat mina avda k'metaltal adami. We see from this Mishnah, or we should see from this Mishnah, that slaves are considered like metaltalin. They're considered like movable objects. Why do we see that? Di'i k'mekarka dami, because if you're going to say that avodim, that slaves are considered like land, so then is davin, agav masa, so then we should say that it's sold together with the city. The fact that it's not included within the sale, it's only included in the sale if he says kol masha besocha, but otherwise it's not included in the sale, so that shows that it's considered like metaltalin. But the Gemara says, V'yelamai, so what are you going to say instead? Avda k'metaltali dami, you're going to say that the avodim are considered like movable objects, but still, maya afilu, why does it say afilu? In other words, if he says everything within it, it says even if there are animals, even if there are slaves. Why are you saying even if there are slaves? If avodim are like regular metaltalin, if they're regular metaltalin, they're like anything else. Why are you saying even? Elamai is loch l'meimer, rather, what do you have to say? Shani ben metaltala denayid, ben metaltala delonayid. There's a difference between movable objects that move around, like animals and slaves, and movable objects that are stationary, that stay in one place. And the even means to say, even though the animals and the slaves move around, they're also included in the sale if you say kol masha besocha. And so therefore, if you're going to say that, once you're already going to say that the fact that they move around is different, so then afilu tema, then you could even say avda k'mekarka dami. You can say that avodim are like karka, that they're like slaves. And so the question then is, why are the avodim not included in the sale of the rest of the city? The answer is Shani ben Mekarka denayin lemekarka delonai. There's a difference between land that moves around and land that doesn't move around. It could be even if avodim are considered to be like land, but by the fact that they move around, they're not included automatically within the sale of the city. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. The Mishnah said, Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel Omer, Rab Shimon ben Gamliel says, Hamocher esoir, one who sells a city, mocher es hasanter, he sells the santer. The santer is included within the sale of the city. And the Gemara says, my santer, what is the santer? Hacha targimu bar mechavnisa. Here they translate it as bar mechavnisa, which means to say it's the registrar. This is the person who surveys the land. He's able to tell you the boundaries within the city, the private property, the public property, etc. He would be included within the sale of the city. And the Gemara continues, Shimon ben Avtulmes Omer, Shimon ben Avtulmes says, Bagi, it refers to the fields that are outside the city, that surround the city. Those are included within the sale of the city. And the Gemara explains, Man damar bar mechavnisa, the one who says that it's the registrar, kol shekain Bagi, certainly those outer fields will be included in the sale. Man damar Bagi, the one who says it's the outer fields, aval bar mechavnisa lo mizdavin. According to that opinion, the person who's the registrar is not going to be included within the sale. And the Gemara continues, Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah, Beis Habadim u Beis Hashlochin. It says that the Beis Habadim and the Beis Hashlochin, those are included within the sale, meaning the olive presses, and the Beis Hashlochin, the question is, what is that? And the Gemara says, Savrua, right now we think, my Shlochin, what are the Shlochin? Bagi, that refers to the very same fields we're talking about, the fields that are surrounding the city. T'chsiv, as it's written in the Pasuk, V'sholeach ma'im al pnei chutzos, he sends the water. We'll see the Rashbam in a moment, but the idea is these are fields that require water for irrigation, and that's what we're referring to over here. And so that would mean that the Tanakama is already stating that the Bagi are included in the sale. And so the Gemara says, now it's good according to the one who says that what Rav Shimon Gamliel means when he says Santer is Bar Mechavnisa, is the registrar. So Amar Tanakama Bagi Mizdavni Bar Mechavnisa lo Mizdavin. So the Tanakama is saying that the Bagi, the fields outside the city that surround the city, those are included in the sale, but not the Bar Mechavnisa, not the registrar. V'yasur Rav Shimon Gamliel Lamemer, and then Rav Shimon Gamliel is coming to say Afilu Bar Mechavnisa Nami Mizdavin, that the Bar Mechavnisa, he's also included in the sale. Elalamandam or Bagi, but according to the one who says that, what does it mean in the Tanakama, the Mishnah Beis Hashlochin? Rather, what does it mean? What does Rav Shimon Gamliel mean when he says Santer? It means Bagi. It means the fields that surround the city. So Tanakama Nami Hachikamer. The Tanakama already said Bagi. He already said that the Beis Hashlochin are included in the sale, which is Bagi. That means the fields that are surrounding the city are included in the sale, and that's exactly what Rav Shimon Gamliel means when he says Santer. They're saying the exact same thing. And so the Gemara answers me, Savrit my Shlochin Bagi. Do you think that Shlochin really means the Bagi, the fields that surround the city? Lo, no, that's not what it means. And that would be able to answer the question if the Shlochin means something else. So then it's fine for Rav Shimon Gamliel to say Santer means the fields surrounding the city. Because my Shlochin, what are the Shlochin? Ginunais, it actually refers to the gardens in the city. Those are included in the sale according to Tanakama. He's not referring to the fields that surround the city. Shenemar, as it says in the Pasuk, Shalachayich Pardes Rimonim, uses that same kind of term of Shlochin, Shlachayich, and it says Pardes Rimonim, the orchard of the pomegranates, referring to a kind of a garden. Avol Bagi lo mizdavni, but the surrounding fields are not included in the sale according to Tanakama. V'yasr Rav Shimon Gamliel l'meimer, Rav Shimon Gamliel is coming to say Afilu Bagi nami mizdavni. Also the surrounding fields, they are also included in the sale. And the Rashbam explains D'chsiv v'sholeach mayim. It says v'sholeach mayim. Again, the Gemara originally thinks that what does it mean the Beis Hashlochin? It means the Bagi, the fields that surround. Kilomar lahachin nikroin shlochin. It means to say it's called shlochin. Why? Shetzrichin legeshamim, because these fields require rainwater. And the Rashbam continues, Ginunaisa, that's the gardens, that's the Ginos Hasmuchin La'ir, V'Shebesocha'ir, it's the gardens both that are near the city and within the city. The Shaychi La'ir Tzfei Bagi, they're more relevant to the city than the Bagi, than the surrounding fields. Sharei Gan Roy L'Tayil Bo Kimo Bebayis, because a garden is something that a person strolls within, he relaxes within, just like a house, so that's more likely to be included. And Tosas over here point out, Misavrid my shlochin v'chulu. V'im Tomar Tosas asks, the v'chuli Gemara have a Beis Hashlochin Bagi? In the entire Gemara, what are Beis Hashlochin? Beis Hashlochin are the surrounding fields, Sados Shemashkin Osan. It's actually irrigated fields. We always translate Beis Hashlochin as irrigated fields, which means that they would dig canals, they would dig ditches to bring the water to the fields. So what's the difference over here? The Mishaninan Lahu Mikol Beis Hashlochin Sheba Gemara. Suddenly we're not sure what Beis Hashlochin means, and we're trying to give different different explanations. Maybe it doesn't mean the surrounding fields. Maybe it really means the gardens. What's going on within this Gemara? And Tosas answer via Shlomo, we can answer the Pshita Leila Gemara. It's obvious to the Gemara that in terms of sales, there's not going to be a difference between a Sada Beis HaShlochin, which is an irrigated field, and a Sada Beis HaBal, which relies on rainwater. There's really no difference between those kinds of fields. So it can't be that that's the distinction we're making. But there would be a difference between the surrounding fields and, let's say, gardens. That's why they don't want to explain shlochin the same way we usually explain it, because that would imply we're excluding a sada beis habal. And again, we saw in the Rashbam, he also mentions this idea of rainwater, which is usually not mentioned in the context of beis hashlochin, which are irrigated fields. And again, using this tosis, we understand perhaps why that is the case, why over here beis hashlochin is a more general term for fields that surround the city. And the Gemara continues, Ika diamri, there are those that say a slightly different version of the above Gemara. Savru, we think, Mai shalachin, what is shlachin? According to this version, Ginunisa, originally we think, what's shlachin? It means to say a garden. So Bishlam Laman Amar Bagi, now it makes sense according to the one who says that Rav Shimon ben Gamliel, when he said Santer, meant the surrounding fields, the Bagi. So Amar Tanakama Ginunais, some is Dab, and Bagi lo mizdavni. The Tanakama says the gardens are included in the sale, but not the surrounding fields. V'yaz Rav Shimon ben Gamliel Lameimer, and then Rav Shimon ben Gamliel is coming to say, Afilu Bagi mizdavni, even the Bagi, the surrounding fields, are also included in the sale, and we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Samech Ches Amid Beis.